A very good morning. Today I'll be doing the presentation for our group project, which is the CMPD 364 Object Oriented Programming. So before we start, let me introduce myself. So my name is Nikesh Naidu. My student ID is DC97473. So this is the table of content for the presentation that I'll be talking about today. So first off, we have about Java programming, and then Java constructors, and the input-output of it, and two main topic of today, which is the input stream reader and the output stream reader writer. Sorry. So before I start with the main topic of today, let me just briefly explain to you guys about Java programming. So Java programming is a general purpose programming language. It is used to develop desktop and mobile apps, big processing, embedded system, and so on. So as you can see, according to Oracle, Java runs 3 billion devices worldwide. So Java is a popular programming language. So it's created around 1995, and it's mainly used for, I'll say, desktop application and yeah, many more. Now let's talk about Java constructor. A Java constructor is a special method that is used to initialize objects. The constructor is called when an object of a class is created. It is used to set the initial value of an object attribute. So in Java, in a constructor, a block of code similar to the method, it is called when the instance of class is created. At the time of the calling of the constructor, memory of the object is allocated in the memory. So as we can see here, here's an example of a constructor that is being created. So we can see in the top there, it's the one that create the main class, which is the public class. And then below that, you can see the command writer that create a class constructor for the main class, so which is public main. And inside that class, we have x equals to 5, which is the initial value. And then below that, we can see that we have another main, which is the public state void, which is one of the main of it. Then below that, we have the codes for both line and last code, which is printing the output. So yeah. Now let us take a look at the next topic that we're going to talk about, which is Java input and output. So this package provides the system input and output through data stream, serialization, and the file system. Unless or otherwise noted, passing a null statement to a constructor method to any class or interface in this package will cause you can say a null pointer exception to be thrown out. So Java uses the concept of stream to make input and output operation fast. The java.io package contains all the classes required for input and output operation. We can perform file handling in Java by using java/io API. So now we have come to the main topic for today, which is we'll be looking at the first topic, which is InputStreamReader. So let's have a look at the description of InputStreamReader. An InputStreamReader is a bridge from byte stream to character stream. It reads byte and decodes them into characters using a specific charset. The charset that is used may be specified by name or may be given explicitly, or platform default charset may be accepted. Each invocation of an input stream reader methods may cause one to be read from the underlying bytes input stream to enable efficiency conversion of bytes characters, or more bytes may be read ahead from the underlying stream than necessary to satisfy the current read operations. For top efficiency, considering wrapping an input stream reader within a buffering reader. Now let's take a look at a few methods of input stream reader. So first off, we have the first method, which is ready. The syntax is public boolean ready. So the description for ready, it's tell whether the character seems is ready or not. Next is close. So close is an input stream reader and release all the stream association within it. Next off, we have get encoding, which returns the name of the characters encoding being used by the stream. Next is read, returns the single character after reading it. Okay, now I'll be showing you guys a few example in codes, which is I'll be hands-on presenting it to you guys. So it will be presented in NetBeans. Okay, hi guys. So now as you can see, we are in NetBeans now. So we have a file open which is under input stream reader folder, and we have open example one. So in example one, we'll be looking at the first code. So first of all, we can see that we've inputted the Java input and output. So we need this to run the code because that's one of the folders. And then next we have our class. The class name is new class 1. Then this is our main method for this code. And you can see that here, this is where we initializing the file input stream. So we have a file input and then the name geek, and then we are calling it back new file input stream, and the file name is abc.txt. So we can find this file in the folder of our project, so which is abc.txt, and the content of our file is gigs for gigs. These are the content of the files. So then next is initializing the input stream for the object. So it's the same thing, but we have another name and we are calling the same thing back again. And next, we are declaring an integer value, and then we have a while loop here where it checks the file to see whether it's converted into a true character, or to check the stream is if it's ready or not. So it will print output, and same as here, it will print output for this file. And then next, we're using the close method to close the input stream reader. So by how do we close it? We put the name of it and close word. And next, we are closing the file input stream. So same, we are calling the name and dot close. Then next, we're using catch. So if the file is not found, and then it will print the file does not exist. Next, if the IO exception happens, then the system will print the word IO exception occurs. So this is our first example. So next, let me run the output and show you guys. So run the file. As you can see, it's getting all the data from our text file, gigs for gigs. So that's how. So we can see GEEK S, and then there's the space and 4 gigs. So this is our first example. Now let's take a look at the second example. Same thing, we're using the input and output import, we're importing it, and then next, top part is also same, initializing it, and for the same part for the object. And this part, see, we're using use get code method to get the character encoding present in the string, this part. And then if it's encoded, then the system will print out the value of it. Same, the closing it for the stream reader, and then this is for the file input stream. Below parts is the same as previous code. So let me just run. So you can see the encoding use is defined here. So that is all for our first one, which is input stream reader. Thank you. So the topic is about output stream reader. So what is output stream reader? It's output stream writer. So an output stream writer is a bridge from character streams to byte streams. So characters written to be encoded into bytes using a specific chassis. So it's kind of same as the input stream reader, but it has some difference in it. So for this, each invocation of a write method causes the encoding converter to be involved on the given characters. The resulting bytes are accumulated in a buffer before being written to the underlying output stream. The size of this buffer may be specified, but the default is larger enough for most of the purposes. Now let's take a look at the method for our output stream writer. So for output stream writer, we have a few extra methods. So first off is flush. Flush flushes the system, as it said. Closes the flush system, while write writes a single character, and then we have a few other writes, which is writes, then writes for strings and int strings. So it has specific use of it. And then next we have get encoding, which is same, which tells the name of the character encoded being used in the mentioned stream. So now let's go to NetBeans and we'll see the codes for our output stream writer. Hi guys, now we'll be looking at the output stream writer. So as you can see, we have two examples for it. So as usual, we have to import the input and output file, and then this is the main code. So the class name is example1, and the main code is here. So first off, we have creation of new output stream writer. How we are creating it? Output stream, and we have to write a name. So I'm using G, it's a random name, up to you guys. new file output stream, and the file name. So let me open a project file. You can see that test.txt doesn't exist yet, but once I run the file, you'll see that it appears in our project here. So next is we creating the output stream writer and use the name and creating and using the same name as just now. Next, we are creating an input for it. So file input stream in and the file name. Now let's write character values into our file. So how do we write it? Use the name dot write, and this is our code. So what is this? You can get this code from the ASCII table, which is a code for represent the alphabets. So next, we have to flush the system. How do we flush it? Name, write the name dot flush. Next, we are reading whatever we write in the file. How do we read? We have a for loop here. So in the for loop, the system will print and you have a specific output here, and it will print by using char in.read. So it's reading the output and so it will be displaying out. Next, we are going to close the file. So we're using the name and closing it. Lastly, to check for exception, it will check for exception, and if it has an error, the system will print the word error. So let's run the first file. So as you can see, 71 represent G, E, E, K, S. So all this number represents by an alphabet. So where do you get all this data from? How do we get this data? It's all saved in the test.txt. So now let's open the folder. As you can see, a file named test.txt appears here. So let me open it up. You can see the word gigs. So I hope you guys understand for the first example. Let me go to the next example now. So in the next example, this will be explaining about the working of write and the string gig, int offset, and int string. So first of all, we are declaring string gig equals to gigs for gig, and then we have the creation of the output as same as just now. So this time we'll be using the file name test1.txt. Okay, so use of write gigs, int offset. Okay, this is okay. Now we can see here we are writing it. So how are we writing it? Gigs dot the file name, the write, and gigs for 9, and then we are flushing it out. Same, calling it to print it out, so we're able to print the message out. And this is for the exception. Now let's run the code. So by writing it, we can see what is the output of here. So we can see SFORG. Okay, then let's check the file, the project folder, test.1.txt, test. So S for gigs, So this is what is saved inside, and this is our output. So I hope you guys are able to understand for our output stream writer. That is all for the explanation for in NetBeans. I hope you guys understand. Let's continue back with the main presentation. So finally, we have come to the end. So I hope that you guys learned something today, and I hope that it helps you guys learn something new. So thank you guys for listening. All the best for your finals. Good luck. Thank you guys.